more fun, which it is fun. It's got its moments. It's really fun. But if you ever go to a casino and you see when them life, I'm sorry.
Welcome in to another edition of That SEC Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bratton. I go by SEC Mike on Twitter. And that is everybody's favorite cousin there, Cousin Shane, the big Tennessee Homer. What's up? Or should I call you the Gamecock Homer?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Oh, man, doing good. And, I appreciate everybody that just watched Steven make his predictions.
Yeah.
Now they're back for a mailbag. I know this is one of our favorite shows we do each week. But before we get going, I know you had a special message.
Yeah, I did. As everybody knows, today's 9/11, one of the saddest days that I remember. Many moons ago, Mike, that day, everybody kind of remembers where they were. And I was at UT. I was going to college for my one semester there, and I was heading to like one of my last classes, before I completely just gave up on college altogether. And I'm walking in, and everybody's watching these TVs, and I'm not thinking anything of it. And I go to the next one, and then I happen to look up, and I saw the second plane hit, and so I didn't have any family there. I didn't have any friends there, but I've talked to plenty of folks that did. So just want to let you know that we are thinking about you. And, as they say, you never forget how tragic that event was.
Yeah, no doubt. We knew a lot of people, your brother included. I don't know if it was like that day or anything, but, went into the military soon after that. So,
yeah.
To prevent things like that ever happening again. So, yeah, shout out all the men and women that serve.
Well, and it's crazy. It's like, after that, we don't get political by no means. And we all know what happened last night and those two going at each other. And I think about after that 9/11, just like it was a different community, man. It's never been mimicked in my lifetime where everybody felt like they were together. They had one goal, one purpose, and as tragic as it was really cool to see this nation kind of come together, if you will. And like you said, we had a lot of folks like my brother join the military, and I do appreciate your service. I appreciate everything they've done to defend our country and the stuff that we don't hear, man. You think, it's not just 9/11, it's the stuff that they've prevented up to this point as well. So again, thank you for everyone involved.
And that's all we're trying to do. Bring all these wild SEC fans together.
That's it. We're just we're trying to bring you together. United Front. Here I'm going to South Carolina. Can you believe that, Mike? If you would have told me that 20 years ago that, Shane, there's going to be a day you're going to go to a South Carolina football game, I'd be like, okay, the Vols playing South Carolina. That makes sense. No. LSU's going to be there. Then I'm going to be like, what the hell am I doing there? I had no idea I was going to get in the podcast world. So, brother, I am looking forward to it. We've had so many folks reach out, and I promise I am going to try to get to everyone. I really am. I've got the map up here. Yeah, here's the cock walk. I'm starting at 9 at this location. I'm sorry, audio, you're just going to have to get on some sort of social media. I can't really explain it. I'm going, I guess that's northwest of William Bryce, just right there. I'm not going there to lose weight here. I'm going 4 blocks from each other, and I'm going to try to bounce around because it sounds like it's a pretty active environment. Probably going to rain, and why the hell not, Mike? I'm down there doing the cock walk. It might as well rain on me too. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Meeting a lot of South Carolina and LSU fans. So if you see me, yell at me because again, I know I made a lot of mean comments about your coach, and this is kind of my beg for forgiveness, if you will.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to beg forgiveness from MyBookie because we went way into the intro here. But again, shout out MyBookie, presenting sponsor of this show. Shane, head on over to MyBookie, the online sports book. Put in that promo code that SEC. They're willing to double your initial deposit today over at MyBookie with that promo that SEC. That's THATSEC. This is the number one way you can help the podcast this football season. Head on over to MyBookie, sign up for an account. Listen to the professor. double
Yeah.
your money. There's no way. This is a win-win here.
That's right. If you're coming to South Carolina, I'll give you maybe a beer. I give you a hug, but I ain't giving you $1,000. You know who is? My bookie. So help us out. Help the pod grow. Sign up. Have some fun, man. Put a little money on these football games this weekend. People are talking about this being kind of a down weekend. By God, you put $100 on that thing, it gets real interesting real quick.
So, Shane, are you ready? We got an absolutely loaded mailbag. Are you ready to get into it?
I love it. Let's do it.
All right, and I'm going to go moving forward. Shane, if you're a member of the channel, you get your questions answered first. So I put those out there, and we got a lot of them. So let's get into it. The very first member we had, Shane, Cousin Brian.
Yeah.
Over, under. How many possessions before Billy Napier pulls Graham Mertz?
Ooh.
It's a great question, don't you think?
Yeah. Mike, I'm telling you, in my mind, and I kind of mentioned this yesterday, it would not blow my mind if you didn't see him in the first series.
Ooh,
yeah,
buddy,
again,
that's a little too bold for me.
I know. I think the real over-under should be third drive, but I'm thinking that there may be an opportunity you see him in the first drive. What you got?
First drive?
Yeah.
Well, hell, you're just starting him then at that point, aren't you?
That's what I'm saying. How many times did he come out and say, "Hey, we're steady the course. We got Mertz, blah blah blah," and now he's kind of lulled Texas A&M to thinking Graham Mertz is going to be back there, and then you got DJ coming out week one or the first drive. So
here's the latest from Napier, 28 minutes ago, as of this recording. Mertz and Lagway took quality reps with the ones and the twos. Says Lagway can do anything in our system. We feel confident he can do anything we have. So it's like, I don't know what the hell that's a non-answer, but no, I'm telling you, he the way he is.
I know. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit.
Right? Yeah. This is Billy Napier we're talking about here, buddy. It's going to be Graham Mertz. The question was how many possessions. He'll give him the first two possessions and see how it goes. I think. I don't know if he's got the guts to do it, Shane. But I think you roll the second half Lagway if you're losing.
Well, yeah, if you're losing. But do you think so? In your scenario, you think it's like? See, in my scenario, I'm not necessarily saying that it's DJ's. Like once he's in there, it's his. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a package within the first drive or two that has DJ in it, kind of a 2 quarterback system.
No, because he's not Michael Vick and the other guy's Peyton Manning. They're they're not that different. He's not a package guy. He's just.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Okay. So first possession.
I probably shouldn't say first, but I said 3 over under.
What if he did that? What if he started 2? He put them both split one out wide just to
wasted a position. Yeah, you know what? Nobody's doing this. 2 quarterbacks.
All right, how about this one from Cousin Jeff? He's got 2 questions, but he's a member, so I'm gonna get to him. Shane.
Yeah.
What's the most infamous call in SEC history? Not famous, infamous. The one that still makes you wonder, what were those refs thinking? I love this question.
I love it. And Mike, I'd love to say I just have one answer. I have many. Growing up Tennessee fan, there are plenty. And I want to can I give them to you real quick? So
yes,
sir.
I'll
be real quick. So when I first saw this, the first thing that came to my mind was the Mizzou Kentucky kick. You remember that one a couple of years ago? The punt, the infamous punt.
Right.
They changed the rules after this thing. When the guy had, for those that didn't remember, it was a 4th down and long. Mizzou looked like they were going to win this thing. Kentucky goes to punt the football. It goes over his head. The punter is athletic enough to grab the football and make an attempt to punt. But when he does, he gets absolutely rocked by a Mizzou player. They charge him with a personal foul, and they get an automatic first down. So that one was the first one that came to my mind. So Mizzou fans, Kentucky fans really remember it too because they got away with one. But as far as Tennessee, when I go back to the North Carolina Music City Bowl, I believe it was. I don't know if you remember this. They also changed the rule after this. Everybody wonders where the 10-second runoff comes from. Mm-hmm. It was because of Derek Dooley's Tennessee Vols, one of the few times he made a bowl game. And what happened was North Carolina is driving like 30 seconds left, and they're going down the football field. And they make a first down. The clock's running, and they go, instead of spiking the ball, they accidentally send in the kicking team to kick a field goal and to put this thing in overtime.
Right.
But in this transition, both of them are out there. So there's like 25 players on North Carolina. He spikes the ball with 1 second left. Game over. The ref comes out, says the game's done. Everybody's heading to the locker room. They're like, wait. He did spike it with 1 second left. Give them a chance to kick it, and they go on to win that game. But, Mike, that's not it. That's not the one. The one that got me, Mike, was the one that wasn't even a penalty. It was a touchdown. You Florida Gators, you know which one I'm talking about. Gaffney did not catch that football. There was like 5 seconds left, 10 seconds left, something like that. They throw it. It hits him in the chest. He immediately drops it to the floor. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes from nowhere, giving him the touchdown symbol. There was no instant replay back then. That was not a catch. That one was the worst non-call ever.
How about shout out Mr. Bassman 2 minutes ago? He said, Gaffney touchdown. Here it goes. How about this one? What you didn't mention it, but I mean, there's so many, but the worst, I thought, absolute worst. I don't know how any ref could ever screw this up, but you remember it was only like 3 or 4 seasons ago. Arkansas Auburn, Bo Nix snapped the ball, fumbled it, and then he turns around and spikes it, and Arkansas jumps on it, and they said, that's a good spike. And everybody who knows anything about football knows you can't just turn around and spike the ball backwards. That's a loose football. How in the hell they thought that was a spike, I'll never know. But that was the worst I've ever seen.
I got one too. Do you remember Penn State Auburn? The guy was diving for it right at the goal line. So he went to stop him from getting into the touchdown. They charged him with targeting. It was like there was no other place to hit this guy, and I felt like that was a terrible. Tennessee Purdue, the forward progress. We have instant replay. We clearly watched the guy never touch the ground as he extends the football, but they say quote unquote the play was over. So yeah, there has been some bad calls, man. Now that we've kind of opened up Pandora's box here.
Can you address the rumor, Shane? Cousin Thomas is bringing it up too. Cousin Shane, are you going to be the guest picker on game day?
No, them bastards probably don't even know who I am, you know. No, I at some point, that's not a big goal for mine, but it just going to these weekly is our goal, or my goal. I don't know about you, Mike, but I think it would be cool because I feel like they get the game of the week wrong. You know, I feel like what I would like is me and you just to talk, say, what do we think's the best football game this weekend? You know, one that's going to come down to the damn last second. And it may not be one against one or second place, or, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking that. I'm just talking about a really good football game that you and I think is going to be pretty awesome. Of course, we would have missed last week. I think we would have picked South Carolina and Kentucky. But that's what I'd like at some point, is to travel around and do these football games with you.
Yeah, no. I mean, that sounds awesome.
And that's why we got my bookie. So,
how about this one? Another one from Cousin Jeff. Really good question. Will Eli Drinkwitz be poached from Missouri when the Florida/LSU jobs, etc., come open, or is Missouri on par with them in desirability? Now, here's the thing, Shane.
Yeah.
And I was just on. I don't know if he's aired it yet, so I'll plug it anyway. But Neil McCready does an Ole Miss show, Rebel Grove, and
good show,
great show. He had me on, and we were talking Lane Kiffin, basically the same question. But it makes no sense, at least as of today, that Kiffin. I know Florida fans are like enamored with Kiffin now, and maybe they'll turn their sets on Drink if he gets Missouri to the playoff. But the way the schedule lines up, the playoff. Now, this is caveat here: Ole Miss got to make the playoff. Missouri's got to make the playoff, but the playoffs occur after the signing period.
Yeah.
So who in their right mind, if you're Florida, is going to hire a coach after the signing period, after the portal? I think it's even after the portal. So it's like you're just giving up on his first year if you're doing that. I just do not think in any world that anyone is going to do that. How could you? Unless Kiffin or Drink leaves their team before the playoff game. And I couldn't imagine a coach doing that.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. And I think the longer that he's successful up there, the longer he'll be there. You know, it's both of them. I think Lane Kiffin's kind of made himself a spot, you know, and I think the biggest thing that helped him was when they did away with East and West divisions. There's going to be years you don't play Bama. There's going to be years you don't play LSU. Well, probably play LSU, but you know what I'm saying? I feel like their strength of schedule is now kind of evened out a little bit, where Ole Miss was not a fun job for a long time because of that. The money's there. They're able to get these portal guys. The fandom's there. You know, they're all excited about the potential season they have in front of them. So I don't know, man. I think it's getting tougher and tougher to poach SEC coaches to SEC teams, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Hey, shout out Cousin Kyle. He's got me figured out. Mike needs all his TVs to keep up with all these games. That's the main reason I try not to go to these games, because I got to keep up with everything, you know?
That's right, man. It is. I was telling you before, probably people wonder what we were laughing about. You know, college football has always been so fun and exciting for me. But I will tell you, there's moments when we have 16 teams not playing each other and you're watching all these games. It's almost like business. It's like work. You know what I'm saying? I'm still enjoying it, but I'm boom, boom, boom. You know, I'm going back and forth on these TVs. And it's like when you go to the casino back in the day, you know, and there's this old lady working on the Buffalo game, you know. She got a half-lit pale male coming out, you know. She does not look like she's having fun, but Mike, deep down inside, there's a reason she's wanting to do it, because she enjoys all them bells and whistles. So I feel like that's kind of where I got last week at times. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely enjoyed watching all those football games.
See, I imagine you more like the Hangover guy doing the numbers in his head, but instead of that, it's just football plays.
No, you know, sometimes I think the older I've gotten, the more I see what the draw is. Man, I'm so freaking old. Mike, when's the last time you've been at casino? I don't know if but so I go in there.
Been a while.
I find the biggest, baddest machine in there. I sit down. It's got to have a comfortable chair. And then it's got to have a volume thing. And if that volume doesn't work, like some of them, you can't turn it up,
right, I'm
out of there. I need something yelling at me, ringing. I don't know what the hell's going off. I don't know what I've activated, but it looks fun. That's what I need in my life. So that's the machines I'm looking for these days.
Well, we're getting sidetracked here, Shane.
Sorry.
Let's get back to the mailbag. Cousin Scott, another member. Do you think the success of Vanderbilt and South Carolina and Arkansas, assuming those continue, that the schedule has evened out in regards to a 10-win team making the playoff? And he didn't specify, Shane, but just based on his question, I think he's a Missouri fan.
Yeah.
And basically the question is, Vanderbilt's better than anticipated, South Carolina's better, even Arkansas is better. So any second thoughts on, you know, a Mizzou 10-win? Could they still make the playoff? And I think it's a fair question.
Yeah.
But again, South Carolina's got to keep it up. Arkansas's got to keep it up. And Vanderbilt, not to saying these teams need to go undefeated minus the Missouri game or anything, but yeah, the schedule looks a little bit, and throw Boston College in there. Heck, they're 2-0.
Top 25, you know.
Right. So yeah, I think today Missouri's schedule looks a lot better than it did in the preseason, but you could certainly spin it too and say Vanderbilt, you know, they could be 4-8 by the end.
Yeah.
Arkansas, the wheels could come off. South Carolina's, they've got a damn gauntlet coming up here, so they got to keep it up. But I think it is fair to say Missouri's schedule is better than it looked in the offseason.
Well, and that's one thing we talked about. I mean, if it were so easy we could look at a schedule and tell you how the record was going to play out, then we'd be in Vegas making a shit ton of money. You know what I'm saying? It's just these schedules are going to change because these teams are going to change. There's going to be some that exceed expectations, and there's some that are going to fall short. You know, you could say the same thing about the Florida Gators schedule. You know, I've watched Florida State being chased around by water guns today, and I'm like, you know what? Florida's schedule's getting a little bit easier. LSU doesn't look as good as they did. Kentucky doesn't look as good as they did. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, this Florida schedule that we have talked to ends on is not as daunting as it was 5 weeks ago. So, yeah, and that may completely change. You never know, brother. I mean, Ole Miss, Texas, Tennessee, Georgia look pretty damn good. But beyond those four, the others are becoming a little bit more of question marks.
Hey, shout out to Cousin Trey. We got a question from him coming in, but we save his for the end because his are always great. But maybe you'll get this one. I don't get the reference. Cousin Shane playing Caribbean poker. Do you get Caribbean poker?
No, I don't get Caribbean poker. I do get right now it's like the Buffalo or the Wheel of Fortune or any of those type games. So
okay,
yeah, it's been a while. I tried to get my wife, so we went to Helen. You know, I gotta be quiet. She's in another room. So I told her, I said, honey, there's a shortcut if we go this way, and she knows. She knows it goes right beside that casino. And she was like, no, it is not a shortcut. We're going this way. So I tried to convince her so I could at least get a couple of pulls at the Buffalo game, but did not get it. Didn't get it.
All right, how about this one, Shane, from Cousin Michael Riley. He's another member. What is the most iconic SEC play that sticks out in your mind?
Most iconic SEC play?
Mm-hmm. I got several if you want me to go first.
No, well, I mean, that's not. I think that the answer involves two Auburn teams. You know, the prayer at Jordan Hare. I think Jordan Hare. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at this. Thomas Cox. If Cousin Shane went around eating tailgate food every weekend, he'd be dead by one season.
Oh shit. Oh man. Yeah. No, you may be right. So that's one thing. But I mean, if you cancel it out with a little walking, you know what I'm saying?
It all equals out.
When you talk about infamous games, Mike, I think of those two. The pick six or the punt. What is that? I can't think of the name.
Kick six.
Yeah, kick six.
The prayer at Jordan Hare. Those are my first two on the top of my list.
But there's one, and I think you're going to nail it right here. So
it's probably my third one.
Do you want to say it?
The stumble and fumble. Oh, shit. Shane doesn't even know that one. Surely you know it. Arkansas, 1998.
I don't think the stumble and fumble. Maybe because it's been so long.
Yeah,
I would give Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, yep. I would give I would move that one to the third spot. The stumble and fumbles in the top five. I would say it's probably number 5 for me.
Yeah. How about Trey Tucker? He says Musburger going creepy on AJ McCarron's girlfriend. That stands out to me for sure.
I remember that.
Yeah, I will never forget it. But I also had Johnny Manziel nearly fumbling the ball, running around, touchdown, Alabama. That stands out to me. And then how about Cam Newton run against LSU?
Oh, that was a good one.
That's an icon. I mean, there's so many. But
when I think of Heisman plays, that's the first one I go to.
Yeah.
Damn, why's Auburn got so many good plays? That's crazy. You know?
They got some magic over there.
No, they do. They got some really good ones. But I mean, there's a lot of great games. I remember Steve Spurrier's first day back in the swamp, the blocked field goal, you know. I remember, I mean, I like games that have a little extra juice to it. You know what I'm saying? That mean a little bit more. And that Spurrier one sticks out to me.
Cousin Kyle says the Florida shoe toss. That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, man, Florida LSU games. The fourth down. Goal line stand. I mean, defense don't get enough loving. That was an awesome one.
Carolina Jackpot says Clowney the hit. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah. Against Michigan. The hits keep coming, boys.
All right. How about this one, Shane? From Cousin Robert. He's also a member. Over under 2.5 SEC coaches fired. Would you go over or under 2.5?
That's a great question.
SEC coaches fired. And the answer in the SEC, Shane, it's always over. Mm-hmm. It's always over. The safe money is on the over when we're talking about firing these coaches. Because all of a sudden, again, I don't think Hugh Freeze is going to get fired. But I did say on Jock's Radio, and they got mad as hell, and they called me another podcast. It was the stupidest take of all time. I said, Hugh Freeze is going to be in the hottest seat in the SEC next year.
Yeah,
we could get to it. Him even getting fired this year. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's likely, but we could get there. That's how quickly it can change in the SEC. Hardly anybody was listening to me when I said I think Mark Stoops is gone. I think this is his last year. I think they're starting to listen now. We obviously got Billy.
Yeah.
We got Pittman. Hopefully not. Hopefully they turn that around. Who else we got here? I mean, you done run Beamer over.
No, they are not firing the best coach in the SEC, Mike.
I know. So I just named
Coach
a couple.
Kelly. I mean, Coach Kelly's the one that keeps popping up.
Coach
now.
Kelly, yeah. I mean, if things go sideways this week, it could be the beginning of the end. I mean, I would always lean the over. Now he specifically said fire. He's not saying leaving for another job.
Yeah.
So that is a little bit tougher. But I would go over.
I'm going to go under, Mike, because you said fired. And I think that's the key word there. I don't think Stoops. I think they save a little bit here. Maybe a walk-off deal, retirement, not a fire. So I'm going to go under.
Okay. Well,
Not by much.
You're always trying to be the good guy. I'll be the bad guy. It is what it is. All right. How about this one from Droll Panther, another member, Shane? What were your first thoughts when the SEC expanded? And he's not even saying Texas and Oklahoma. Well, he is saying that, but he's thinking A&M and Missouri. And honestly, I thought when A&M came in, I thought they could be a juggernaut. And hell, maybe that's where the annual Aggie offseason hype comes from. Just all the untapped potential. I didn't like Missouri.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I was like, why in the hell are they coming in here? And it made no sense to me. Then they come right out the gate. They win a couple of these titles. All right. That was a good addition. Good job.
Yeah,
Good job, SEC. So I love them now. So that was my honest opinion. What was your? Do you remember? I mean, that was over 10 years ago.
No, it's been a while. I honestly, at the time, Mike, I was happy that we got Mizzou when they said, because remember, we're East and West. I was Tennessee homer. And I said, man, thank God we got Mizzou, Whoops. Man, yeah, they ended up, kicking our ass. No, I don't know if they kicked their ass. I think I went to the first game. They were in Neyland. They did beat us, but I don't think it was by much. But yeah, that one, that's what I remember. It took a while to kind of get them acclimated to the SEC, to think of them as an SEC team.
Yeah. I got it pulled up here, Shane. It was Mizzou. They won the first three.
Oh, is it that many? Huh?
Tennessee won 2, and then Mizzou won the next 2, and then Tennessee won 4 in a row until last.
What was the first one in Knoxville, or the first one in Tennessee?
Yeah, it was Derek Dooley lost to Pinkel, 51-48. And the series is tied 6-6.
I knew it was a close one. And see, man, we had Dooley. Golly, what a terrible. What a terrible go that was. So,
and then
we gave them to him.
And then obviously Texas and Oklahoma. I mean, I was over the moon the second that was announced, because I knew how big that was going to be for us, and just the conference. And I mean, it's all realized. I mean, we're literally only 2 weeks into the college football season. But it's even better than I anticipated. Oklahoma fans are amazing.
Yeah.
They win by 50 points. They're ready to fire everybody. They're Texas. They think they own the world. Maybe they do. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm on board for the ride. You know what?
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. There's a lot of chirping coming on as they're coming in, and that shows me that they belong. And one of my favorite parts is, like, if you remove them in discussion and they said, Shay, go out and pick 2 teams to expand the SEC, those are the 2 teams I would have picked. It's a hell of a rival just between them, and I felt like they would make the conference better. I never wanted to bring Team A in, but because of that, it was a package deal. We got Team B. I didn't want that scenario. Mm-hmm. We got two teams coming in that have won national championships, that have had Heisman winners, that immediately are making an impact in this conference.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then how about this one from Serene and Keen, another member. Again, if you're a member and you respond on YouTube, I'm gonna get to it. How much money has Cousin Shane wagered on Tennessee to win it all after seeing them play the first 2 weeks?
Mike, you know me. I do not bet on Tennessee. I don't. I would love to, but I feel like, I've been good with my picks, 2-0. I feel like the Grim Reaper would kick in if I put any money on the balls right now, and I am not touching what's hot. So $0 is the answer.
Yeah, if you can't sense it, this is a man that's been burned by the Vols before. That's all that was.
Absolutely, man. A lot. So,
all right, shout out to, how about cousin Jesse? He's a very loyal watcher, listener, whatever you want to call it. Big South Carolina guy, has been with us for a long, long time. When, not if, when LSU loses on Saturday, he asks, at Williams-Brice by multiple scores. By multiple scores. Well, what will be the major headline? Fire Brian Kelly, or South Carolina has the best defense in college football?
Buddy. I think people navigate toward like grievance, So I think that even though they'll highlight how great South Carolina's defense were, they're going to say, what the hell happened to the LSU Tigers? What the hell happened to Coach Kelly? Because there were several medias that were picking this as a team to compete for a college football playoff. And if they started, they fought like hell last week, and then if they lose to 2 USCs in 3 weeks, by God, they are going to pile up on Coach Kelly.
Yeah, I hate to say it. That's going to be the narrative,
Yeah.
Brian Kelly ain't ready. He's not. He came down here to win a championship. They're taking a step backwards. I think that'll be the narrative. I really do.
Well, and something that you're talking about, schedule. When we talked about LSU potentially having 2 losses, the 2 teams we did not discuss were the USCs.
Yeah.
We talked about Ole Miss. We talked about maybe A&M, Alabama, Oklahoma. Those teams are still on your schedule. And if you can't get out of the gate here and you're 1-3 and you struggle, your only win's a struggle against an FCS opponent. Yeah, you better damn believe they're going to be coming for you, and myself included.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and it may happen because I'm a good luck charm, Mike. I am. Maybe every game I go to, except for Tennessee games, that team's going to win. So I'll see you there Saturday. I hope to see Cuz there.
Cousin Kyle says it will. Mike may not get much right, but he might get LSU right.
You know the recipe. Kyle knows. He's been around long enough.
Yeah.
We'll forget the 10 things we said wrong, but the one we said right, by God, we're going to put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah, and Mr. I've lost it here. Mr. Kananga, I can't find but he said my mustache looks like a movie prop. That'd be kind of funny. How about this?
It does kind of look like that. Like, that's not as much. He's undercover. I can tell.
How about cousin Andrew here? These South Carolina fans are on fire, Shane. I didn't know if they would be MIA after 2 weeks. They're on top. They're on cloud 9.
Do you get carded for buying alcohol?
No.
I would card you. I would say, this is not you.
Hey, cousin Andrew, he wants to know, what is South Carolina's ceiling if they beat LSU? So if they're 3-0, they're going 4-0.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. Wofford's a win, obviously. 5-0.
Yeah.
At Clemson's going to be tricky, but hell,
I'd give it to them.
6-0. I'd give them a half there. So 5.5. Vanderbilt, I'll give it to them 6.5. Oklahoma right now, that's another half, so I give them 7. Hell, A&M at home. We'll find out about A&M, but that's another half for me. So
I'd say 8-4. 8-4. If you beat LSU,
right.
Yeah. I think.
Well, hell, sounds like you're going 9. Who's the 4th loss in your regard here?
Well, Ole Miss.
Right. Bama, Missouri.
Mizzou.
And then who else?
Oklahoma, probably.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the 0.5. Like, lose to one of A&M or Oklahoma.
Right.
I see what you're saying.
I'm surprised you didn't say 10 or 11. You gotta butter these people up before you get down there to Columbia.
You can't just give it to them. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You gotta let them work for it a little bit.
Yeah.
If they feel like they've arrived, then they will not succeed. So I've got to let them. Getting past LSU is a huge hurdle, Mike. This is a team that nobody thought they even. We got game day here. This is they're breaking out all the stops here. So now that may change. You put 14. You win by 14. 21 points or something like that, then all of a sudden those 0.5s become wins. So, yeah.
All right, how about this one from Jack D. Vol, Shane, loyal listener. What would Texas A&M have been if Bobby Petrino had stayed under Mike Elko. Petrino running the offense, Elko running the defense. Could have been nasty right out the gate. We all know Jimbo didn't turn him loose with that offense. What would you agree with that? Because I got maybe a little bit of a bold take. I'm just kind of curious. You think A&M would be better today if they had Bobby Petrino?
Yes. Yeah. I think I'm sold on Bobby Petrino right now as far as play calling. And
I knew you'd say that.
Am I wrong?
You're damn dead wrong, Shane. Let me tell you. And I get it. Looked awful. Wigman's stats look awful. They looked pretty damn good with Bobby Petrino. So you can make that case, certainly. But are we making these hires? Are we making these decisions based on one or two game? Or are we looking towards the future of Mike Elko, Shane? I'm looking to the future for Texas A&M. Bobby Petrino may know how to call plays and run an offense, but I wouldn't trust him to do literally anything else. I've heard he's, one of the tough, I don't know what the kind word to say is here, but one of the worst people ever to deal with. So you got to throw that into the consideration. And here, again, it's only been 2 games, right?
Like a diva?
He's just like a complete asshole to everybody.
Oh.
Nobody likes him. I don't think he likes anybody. Just look at his track record. Lie, cheat, steal. I mean, you can have that all you want, Shade. I'm going, again, Colin Klein has not looked great the first 2 games. I get it. But at Kansas State, I'm freaking Kansas State here, Shane. Top 25 in scoring efficiency back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Top 10 in the country, Shane, in scoring last year. And rushing offense, top 15 both years. So you're telling me if we got an elite defense with Mike Elko and we got a play caller that is, borderline elite, rushing the football, scoring the football, or at least top 25. If A&M has a top 25 scoring offense, as long as Mike Elko is there running the defense, they're going to be in contention every season if they can get it to that point. So I don't know. I like the future better, even without Bobby Petrino. Even though Arkansas looks like it's humming right now, I would anticipate that is not going to sustain itself.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you, Mike. And because I did see flashes last year. I saw a better Connor play week. I mean, you remember the Miami game. The kid looked like a damn Heisman winner. And then all of a sudden, if you could pair that with Elko's defense, I mean, scenario, if you let Bobby Petrino run that offense last year and you had Elko running that defense, Jimbo we'd be talking about how he is one of the greatest head football coaches in the country. Instead, he's fired. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, truly, Elko is that defensive guy. He is that defensive mind. I have no doubt that they've got a home run hire for defense. The offense, I question because I've seen it. I saw it. I feel like if you had Bobby Petrino, you won Notre Dame game. I'm just telling you right now. I think that because again, he's been working with Connor. It's not like he's never met Connor Wigman. He's been working with him. He knows what he's good at. He knows what he's bad at. He's seen it in real time, not just during practice, that scenario. I really think that this offense would have looked a lot better week 1. But you're asking me to pick? Yeah. Texas A&M would be a better spot if Bobby Petrino was the coordinator.
Even if they couldn't recruit and...
Mike, Texas A&M can recruit. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a coordinator to recruit. People are going to navigate toward Arkansas because of what they're doing. They keep playing like that, fast and loose and fun. Yeah, if I'm a struggling receiver, if I'm wide receiver 2 on a team that maybe not getting the recognition I deserve, and I look over there and I see what they're doing with Arkansas, I see an opportunity to put some highlights out there and get my ass in the NFL. So Arkansas keeps doing what they're doing. Just playing alone is recruiting for itself.
Well, let's revisit this in a month here, Shane. I'm telling you, these defensive guys, they want someone that can run the damn football. I'm just telling you, that's a perfect match right there. How about Kentucky Kenny? 2 questions. Which team needs to be knocked off their high horse, and why is it? Here's the second part. And why is it South Carolina? That's his question there. No, but he says, real question here. Who will join us in fan purgatory? The new Vanderbilt fan, all the Vanderbilt fans are gone.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I'd say Florida's pretty close right now. They're teetering. A loss this week, they're right there with you. Arkansas is another one. I just talked about how great Bobby Petrino
LSU
is.
could be there.
LSU. These are programs that are in kind of must-win situations right now. Other than that, I think you're pretty much by yourself. But you can. That's the thing about Kentucky. Kentucky can kind of crawl out of that hole that maybe Vanderbilt has lived in. I mean, look at them. They're starting out 3-0 potentially, and there's a real shot that you guys after Georgia. Oh shit! Never mind. I forgot you got Ole Miss.
And now, a red hot Vanderbilt.
You better beat Vandy, So October 12th, you come out, And Florida, if you got their number, if you could get that one, then all of a sudden you kind of catapult them. But South Carolina's in a unique spot right now. I feel like there's some that just aren't yet willing to buy in, like Cousin Shane is. But I do think that they have a chance to put the naysayers on hold when they beat LSU this weekend.
Right. Do they get game day again October 5th against Ole Miss if they win?
Well,
that's a lot of game days.
Yeah, that's a lot of let's not get too carried away.
All right, how about this one from Mizzou Mafia? After 2 weeks, who stands a better chance of going 12-0? Mizzou or Tennessee? Better chance of going 12-0, Mizzou or Tennessee?
Give me Mizzou one more time. Yeah.
I think the answer's got to be Mizzou.
Yeah, I was trying to see if they had Georgia penciled in there yet, but that's my only concern as a Tennessee. I think Tennessee's got a shot to be 12-0, but I like Mizzou's better because they don't have Texas, they don't have Georgia. They got Bama, which kind of looked a little sus last week. So, yeah, I'm going with Mizzou here.
Right. Yeah, I think that trip to Georgia is kind of makes that the easy one there. How about this from Mizzou, man? A lot of Mizzou questions back to back. Who does Mizzou beat in the SEC championship this year, Shane?
Well, I think if you're going to play Georgia, anybody, right? Most likely it's the Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah. And if this is your words, if you're going to beat them, then that's who you're going to be beating probably.
Right.
God, and Georgia is just now, I mean, they're just stretching. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That Clemson game, did you see that player came out? He talked about after they beat App State, he was like, if we would have done that against Georgia, we'd have the same outcome or something like that. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? No, you still would have got your ass kicked.
How about this one, Shane, from Gary from Missouri? Will Tennessee or Florida ever surpass Missouri in wins again?
Like overall, like for a season?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I tell you, these Mizzou fans are feeling themselves right now.
They are, but and you enjoy it, you embrace it, you love on it because, like I told you the other day, there's a lot of sad Florida fans out there that thought that rain would never end. There's a lot of Miami fans thought that would never end. A lot of Florida State fans. So. Yeah, I enjoy it while you're there because you will not be there forever. It's a roller coaster. So, soak it up while you're there.
How about this one from Cousin Ryan? Who's got the better offense, Shane, Ole Miss or Tennessee?
That's not fair because I feel like Tennessee's going to get the edge just because they've played somebody with a pulse. They played a top 25 team. I love what Ole Miss does, but I still feel like there's a little reserve to their play calling. You know what I'm saying? They got 4 weeks before they actually have to use, playbook A, if you will. So
I think I would disagree with you, though. I think Ole Miss got the better offense.
Better offense?
Just because I give them the edge at quarterback right now with experience. I mean, Jaxson Dart just seems locked in with everything he's doing, whereas Nico, I mean, he looks incredible, but still looks like he's kind of figuring it out, which is scary because they just won by 41 points on a neutral site against the top 25 team. But give me Ole Miss better offense.
I'm going to disagree. So agree to disagree, Mike. Okay. I like Tennessee's offensive line play, tight end play. Cole Kublik did a nice little piece on the Twitters, showing some of the tight end work there. I
think Ole Miss got better tight ends too.
A tight end, yeah, if he's healthy. he gets out there. But yeah, I agree with you on that part. But I would say as a group, as a unit, and not just catching balls, but actually blocking, I would say Tennessee right now. And I'd also say running game. I think Tennessee's got by far a lot better running game than
a lot better.
Well, maybe not a lot better. I just
Mizzou
maybe a little bit better.
Ole Miss running back scored 4 touchdowns last week.
Oh, against who again? MTSU?
Derek Mason, defensive mastermind.
Tennessee have that in one quarter, you know. No, I'm not. Again, we're splitting hairs with offense because we told you going into the season. I felt like Mizzou had the best offense, and then right there below it was Ole Miss. But I would say Ole Miss has surpassed Mizzou for the time being. Barely.
Cousin Trey says this is just like the waffle pancakes debate. And we got a similar one, right? I'm putting these in order for a reason, Shane. From not Chris Brazzell, so not Tennessee's receiver, but someone not.
Is it though?
It may be. Why are people ranking Ole Miss ahead of Tennessee? Does Ole Miss have a good defense? As good a deep a defense? Did they lead the league in rushing last year? What about total offense the year prior? I do not understand the Ole Miss love. Can you explain, or would you agree with that? Why is Ole Miss ranked ahead of Tennessee?
Well, when you score so many points, it's not like you had a close game. You did what you're supposed to. You played an inferior opponent and you hung a ton of points on them. Yeah. So I mean, you look at that 128 points in 2 games. Maybe that's why you're holding on to your spot. You know, if this was a 35-28 game, then all of a sudden, Tennessee's going to jump them. But they're doing exactly what they're supposed to. They've held each opponent. I mean, they got 3 points. Their defense is just as good as Tennessee right now. So I'm not saying Ole Miss hasn't done anything to lose that spot. And I feel like when you're at that level, that's where you need to be.
Yeah, I agree completely, Shane. And I have Tennessee above in the power rankings.
Yeah.
Just by 1. But I got no problem Ole Miss being ranked because they brought back a lot from last year. They won 11 games.
Yeah.
So last season shouldn't really, have anything to do with this season. But exactly what you just said, they've done nothing to drop.
Yeah.
So keep moving Tennessee up. We're 2 weeks into the season. It doesn't really matter where you're ranked. You know.
Let me ask you, which game would be more exciting in your opinion, Tennessee and Ole Miss playing, or Texas and Georgia playing, which we're going to get to see that
more exciting? I think more exciting would be Ole Miss Tennessee,
or like leading up to it. I don't know how this game's going to play out. I feel like which one would you like? Like you had a ticket, you could only watch one of these football games. Which one are you walking into?
Yeah, probably the other one if you're going to do it that way. Texas, Georgia.
God, you hate Ole Miss, huh? Weird.
How about this one from Cousin Pate? Jaxson Dart or Nico? Who has more passing yards by the end of the season here? Nico or Jaxson?
Jaxson.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jackson's. And that's one thing I will say. Jackson's weapons are unreal. And you got to see. I mean, it was good to see Juice. Probably South Carolina fans don't want to hear that, but it was good to see some of these playmakers we've been talking about all offseason. It really kind of stretched our legs a little bit, but yeah, you want to. I think Lane right now. He put up that gladiator meme the other day. Are you not entertained? I think he's selling Jaxson right now. He wants a Heisman winner, and he has an opportunity here.
Yeah, no, I haven't even thought about it quite like that, but I think you're right. All right, how about this one? After 2 weeks shout out Anomaly. After 2 weeks, who do you think what do you think is more likely? Texas loses to Oklahoma, or Ole Miss loses to Mississippi State? So both would be big upsets, but what do you think is more likely to happen?
Texas, Oklahoma. That rivalry, you just can't. I mean, you saw it last year. Texas was supposed to win last year, weren't they? And then until they didn't, Oklahoma did. So I feel like that's your answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree 100% with you. And that's what a lot of Texas and Oklahoma people I've spoke. They say you do not want to be favored in this matchup for whatever reason. The underdog always gives them a good shot. How about this one, Shane, from Ron Burgundy?
Oh,
I hope it's the real Ron Burgundy here. Which SEC team with 0 national championships will be the next to win a national championship? And I just went back to 1960, Shane, because, again, that's like, I can't even imagine, which, if you are, we're very thankful you're here. But I can't even imagine people that are like listening to the show that was even alive then. You know what I mean? So since 1960,
not this late anyway. They've already
since 1960, here are the SEC teams that have a title: Alabama, Auburn, Florida, LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Texas. So who we got left here? Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Missouri, South Carolina, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. Of those last group there, which will be the next to win a national championship?
Mike.
I've got it down to 2.
I feel like we've answered this before or away, and I always thought, like, if it's within the next 3 years, it's Mizzou, but if it's beyond, it's Texas A&M. If that makes sense.
Well, they're all saying in the comments, I swear I looked this up, they're saying Arkansas won in 1964 national champ.
Yeah, I was there. It was a good one. I think it rained half the time.
So, all right, we'll give them that one.
I wasn't there.
But, all right, so Arkansas's got one, I guess. But, so you're going with, Missouri, if it's the next couple of years, but A&M long term?
Yeah, next 3 years, Mizzou. If beyond that, Texas A&M. I do think Texas A&M has what it takes as far as facilities and just everything. Like, if you're building a program, that if you walk into something like that, you can almost buy a championship at some point. You would think. Now, obviously, they've not been able to do it, but that's not lack of effort. They just haven't got the ingredients right yet.
Right. Now, how about this? This is a strange one, Shane. These always like scramble your brain. So stick with me here. From Cousin Carmelo. Then this is addressed to you, Shane.
Okay.
Cousin Shane, would you rather beat Alabama and Georgia, but drop a couple other games along the way and not go to the playoff? But so you're beating Alabama, you're beating Georgia, but Tennessee somehow does not make the playoff. Or would you rather lose to Florida and that be your only loss, and you still go to the playoff, but you do not get a guarantee of a title? So I think what he's really asking at his core is, how much do you friggin' hate Florida that you will accept a loss to them, which means you have to do a marathon, right?
Yeah.
Or a half marathon or whatever. But I know that's a convoluted question, but which would you rather have? A win over Georgia and Alabama, but you miss the playoff, or a loss to Florida and you run the table and no other guarantees other than you get into the playoff?
And the way I'm looking at answering that question, Mike, is if you remove all the teams and the scenarios, do I want to be hurt while walking a half marathon, but my Vols go to a college football playoff, or not? So, yeah, I don't like it, but, one thing about being 42 years on this earth, Mike, and I told you about that non-Gaffney touchdown, I've seen them enough that it does not bother me as bad as it used to. I hate them. I lose a lot of sleep over them, but if Tennessee loses that and it guarantees them an opportunity to beat Georgia and Alabama, I mean, yeah, sign me up.
Okay. How about this one from Cousin Trey? Again, he always asks great questions.
It's like the old, would you cut your toe off to go to a playoff? It's kind of, I feel like a good half marathon, there's probably some sort of my body part not going to be functioning after that.
You may lose it anyway, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out Cousin Trey for all these great questions. Crystal ball, more likely, Arkansas. I'm going to throw up her schedule while I ask this. Arkansas, what's more likely? They beat Auburn on the road, or they beat Texas A&M in Arlington. What's more likely? And then he adds, you can also say both is more likely. So what do you think is more likely? Arkansas wins at Auburn, which is maybe in shambles, or A&M on a neutral field?
I'm saying Auburn, man. Because, Hugh Freeze, you talked about the ups and downs of his winning and losses, but Arkansas is not a team. Arkansas is one of those losses that they didn't anticipate. So I would say that's your game right there. Arlington is never a home game. Always weird shit happens at that football game. It seems to never favor Arkansas. So I'm leaning toward Auburn here.
Okay. And you're not completely rolling it out that they can beat both, though, right? You're just saying
no. I think that's the thing. I'm not giving up on Arkansas. They made some stupid mistakes. They would love nothing more to have that football game back. But I still think that there's an opportunity Arkansas to have a really good season here.
And this is why I love Arkansas fans and SEC fans in general, Shane. I mean, we're getting these questions. Got smoked by Auburn last year at home.
Yeah.
They lose to A&M like 10 out of 11. Just got their hearts shattered on Saturday. And here on Wednesday, they're like, we can beat them both, right? and it's not just them. It's all of us, you know?
Yeah, it's like short-term memory loss, like you don't have it. Yeah. And again, I can relate as a Vol fan. When back in the day, you lost against Florida, you're out. You're not going to an SEC championship. But if you could make it to an SEC championship, odds are you can make it to a BCS championship. So that's the way you thought about it. So if you lose to Florida, it hurt. You hated it. It was early September. But then you started saying, hey, if Florida loses twice, they got too tough, and then we win out, you start putting these scenarios together. So I totally understand where Arkansas fans are coming from.
And then he's always got a follow-up with food-related, Shane. Shout out Cousin Trey. Cousin Shane, who do you consider less trustworthy, not more trustworthy, less trustworthy? Someone who does not eat processed sugar or someone that doesn't eat red meat? Who do you trust less?
Somebody that doesn't eat red meat. Yeah. I get the sugar part. It's like some people are diabetic. I'm borderline. Calm down. Not using a pen yet, but I can get that, because I've been there before. Like, I'm just going to eat organic. I'm not going to eat anything processed anymore. But red meat, I'm saying, like, somebody says, oh, I don't do red meat, and they don't have an illness, then I don't trust you. Yeah. Like, if you told me you have some sort of disease and you can't do that, I'm like, oh, I totally understand that. But if I ask you and your follow-up is, oh, I just don't trust it, or I don't, then I'm like, I'm not trusting you.
Right. And I'm pretty sure, hey, obviously just look at us. We're not nutritionists, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't believe you can live off sugar. Yeah, I'm again, don't take my advice on health, but I'm pretty sure you can live well just eating red meat.
Well, I don't know, man. I got a teenager. It feels like, I guess she's, I haven't seen her have a real meal in like 13 years. So I don't know. Just kidding.
And then, hey, he's got a triple header here. One more. Oatmeal pie or fudge rounds?
Oh, that is not fair, because the OG for me is the oatmeal cream pie,
right?
Not the baby ones. You know what I'm saying? Like the big boy ones. Those
you didn't have to say that. We know.
You know. But there's like moments that you can't beat a good Swiss cake. You cannot beat a Swiss cake roll, and there's a way to eat it, and it's probably not. Healthy,
I think he's talking about the. Same little, I guess it's both Little Debbie, right? But the oatmeal pie, obviously, you know what that is. The fudge round is I think that's the dark one with the. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm thinking about? No, the fudge round, no, that's not in my top 5. So that was an easy answer. I apologize. Oatmeal cream pie all day long.
Okay, and then final one here. Sooner in the South. I think you already responded to this one. I just want to get it on record. Is Cousin Shane going to meet me at Polly's this Saturday in Columbia? Isle of Palm Burger on me. How about it with a cock walk? I have no idea. I apologize. I don't know where that is. I hope it's on the Shane's cock walk here. But any idea if this location is nearby?
I have no idea, man. I didn't see it. Number 4 is near a chicken place that has reached out to us, and I think I'm doing some research. I think it's a fine establishment.
Right.
But the problem I'm going to run to is going to be the tail end, and I don't know what it looks like at the 12 o'clock hour. Like, do they have TVs? Can I watch the game? That sort of situation. So I didn't want to quite commit to it. But isn't that funny? Pull that back up for a second. You can see my recently viewed. I didn't notice that, but I did look at Sports Bar and Grill there. So
Yep.
I did look at Waffle House. Bojangles probably closed the Cockaboose there. Man, it's just gonna be fun. There's gonna be a lot of good stuff and a lot of great. I just cannot wait to get out there and mingle with the folks. It's gonna be exciting, brother. I'm looking forward to it. I'm putting the sign together tomorrow, so I won't reveal exactly what it says, but you're gonna see this is an apology tour.
Yeah. All right, Chase. So, hey, that's all the questions we got. We'll be back tomorrow to make our picks for the weekend. Give a shout out to all the cousins who gave their predictions last week and nailed them, and those cousins that absolutely missed them like we generally do. But I'm ready to predict these games.
Yes.
And then I'm ready for you to hit the road for Columbia. It's going to be great.
Absolutely, man. I look forward to seeing everybody out there. And again, thanks for all the cousins piling in, taking time to ask questions, taking time to sign up to my bookie. We do really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be coming to a town near you one day, not in a circus tent. That's what some people like to say. And the bearded lady over here and the fat guys. Oh, man, sorry. Your mustache got me. But, hey, brother, I'm looking forward to hanging out. And, wild weekend coming up. So be sure to check tomorrow. Have those notifications on. If anything crazy happens, again, we will be jumping on and let you know, especially if a coach gets fired or something like that. So be sure to have those notifications turned on. YouTube, I appreciate everybody, but if you would give us a thumbs up, apparently that does help us out. So I appreciate y'all.
Yep. All right. I appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Balls.
Oh, whoop. There we go.
See you again.